Okay, so sevens. I am going to turn into a bluff. And it's a little funny to do this. Like, I guess I don't need to do a shove, because my opponent can have King X and Jack X flushes. So obviously blocking 5-7 is irrelevant. So I'm only blocking 7x spade hands. Okay, against King 8 I would have... I mean, ideally I wouldn't bluff, but if I'm gonna bluff, I'd rather shove. Yeah, I expected him to have a ton of kings, and wanted to try to push him off of his king. Okay, exploitative me is raising any two cards against a limp. Basically, at these stakes, limping is not a viable strategy with the rake structure and with how big blinds overfold. So if somebody limps, I assume they're a recreational player, and I think I can make a profit raising any two cards. I expect that strategy to outperform checkbacks, just because of tons of pre-flop fold equity and flop fold equity. So get after those limps. I don't know. It's hard to recommend strategies like this sometimes, but I think if you're very careful once they call flop, I think it's very good. Okay, 8-7 is a terrific bluffing hand. I get check raised. Okay, I'm gonna defend. I like to defend all my nut gut shots. Pretty much all my gut shots, but definitely all of my nut ones. I'll fold the turn. Probably should have led this turn card. The situation here is interesting. I think I like a smaller bet than this, like 350 or 3.5 big blinds. This size kind of it really makes sense for a 9, but I think most of my range wants to bet a little bit of a different size. Okay, I've started to treat these middling flops, these middling high flops, a lot more carefully, because I realized, like, since people overfold so much pre-flop, they're gonna just connect better with these boards. Better than they're supposed to. It is important for me to have a club, right, for bluff catching to block flushes. The Jack of Clubs is one of my least favorite clubs to have, just because I expect most people to, or I expect a decent check frequency on either the flop or the turn from people when they have Jack of Clubs flushes and flush draws. I'm trying to think through if this makes sense. If this makes sense or not. I'm a little confused, but I think I would rather not have the Jack of Clubs. And I'd rather have a different club, I think. Because I expect to not block as, like, I expect that blocker to not be as relevant when he goes bet. I'm not sure if that's really true. I don't really know about hands like this. This 5-8 of clubs. I do have pretty strong feelings that people play really badly in single raised pots at these limits, and they don't double barrel bluff nearly enough. I think that makes this type of hand a little bit better to play with. Okay. I'm gonna go with the fold. Okay, so the 25 and L I've been playing was at reg tables, which were just a disaster, man. It was like limp fest, like ridiculous all in pre-flops. People min betting like the nuts on the river for value, just kind of insane. 25 and L games are good. At least the reg table games. I think the Zoom is quite a bit tougher compared to the reg table games. I haven't played any of that recently, but yeah, people suck more at 25 Zoom, I'm sure, than the higher stakes games. Okay, defending ace high. I like a turn call here. I'll fold ace queen, call ace king. The ace king doesn't block at quite as many bluffs. Okay. Okay, how do kings feel? Kings feel like they should probably be another check. And just go to the river and play rivers. My general feeling here is that I love bluffing, but I don't really like thin value betting. And those two things are usually paired together. Like, I love bluffing because I think people fold a ton in this spot. But it makes me not like thin value betting because I think people fold a ton in the spot. Okay, big blind 3-bet. This to me is like super scary, super strong. I'm going to call like all my suited and connected stuff, but I'm not going to try to do a ton of floating and outplaying. I'm just trying to make strong hands. It appears that we have a whale heads up. Seems to be a whale. I love this shit against whales. Just force them to like start piling their money in with a high card, which will just like wreck him mentally, and just, you know, put him like in a very uncomfortable mindset, or he'll just have to fold, and that's good too. The third option of him just like having it just doesn't happen enough, because all he did was raise pre and c-bet. Okay, looking for a pair, don't find a pair, gonna check fold. Whoa, this guy called. I did not expect this guy to call. But I think I should get some pretty efficient c-bets, even with like really shitty blockers. Just check back the turn and then shove the river. What a funny board. I hope he doesn't shove. I didn't even really want him to bet, but I am going to call. I do have a flush. Pretty big 4-bet for in position. Gonna fold ace 5 suited. Ooh. get one of those weird SPRs. I'm going to start by checking. Generally, I just consider Ace-King to have too much equity to get away from this pot. Maybe I could somehow, but I'm more of just like a get it in, see what happens, realize my equity. I like to realize my equity hands like this. And, you know, there you go. He's got king high diamonds, so we're happy to see the cards. Big bet. I'm going to call turn and then fold rivers unimproved. This is a weird river. I would expect him to do a lot of checking on this river. I'm not going to turn this into a bluff. I don't think that's a good play. I'd rather just like check and lose than bluff against his range. I basically think I'm always beat, and I don't think I have fold equity. Yeah, I've got nothing to say about Mike. Obviously, he's cheating. It sucks. You know, I never really watched him before. Like, I'd never heard of him before the scandal came up. So, I'm not too invested in this one.